Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us here today for the Cartica Cloud Hosting demo. If you joined us last week for the overview on the cloud hosting, we thank you for joining us once again today for the deep dive into the Cartica backend. Please note that this presentation is being recorded for all who attend. So today we have about 30 minutes for you, and our agenda today will look like this. We'll start with an introduction of Cartica and Computrack, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of the demo. We'll have Matt go into a cloud demo showing you the management console, how to create a server, scaling up and down your servers, showing you the resource pool manager, and additional components in the cloud system. We'll also show you a Windows live in the cloud. We'll also end today with a special offer for all attendees. And as well, if you have any questions at the end, we'll open up the chat for Q&A. So most of you know who we are. Computrack Solutions, in business since 1987, is a premier Sage business partner specializing in the implementation of Sage 300, formerly called ACPAC. We also offer other fully integration solutions such as sales, CRM, human resource, EDI, and other mission-critical items that will help you improve your business. Our mission here is to be a trusted resource enabling organizations to reach their full potential through technology. And today on the line, we have Mark Hotz, our president, as well as myself, Stefan Southwell, the director of client services. Now I will pass it on to Pavel, and he will introduce Cartica.
Thank you, Stefan. Good day, everyone. My name is Pavel Marayev. I'm a sales manager in Cartica. And also today with us, we have Matt Chanfarani. He's our operations manager, and he will actually be showing you the live demo of Cartica Cloud Infrastructure. Now, before we jump into the demo, two brief words about who Cartica is and what we do. We are a cloud and managed services provider in Canada and United States. We have presence both in Dallas, Texas, and Toronto, Ontario. Company started around year 2000, which would be about 16 years ago. We started as a reseller of hosting services for other companies, but however, we recognized that there was a huge need for our customers to be enjoying better services and extended portfolio of services. And this is what we've done. We have grown over the time, and now we're truly one-stop shop for all of your cloud, internet, and hosting needs. We have a rock-solid SLA, and we're very well recognized within the internet community as the company with a very high reputation and one of the best customer service and support. Thank you very much, and over to Matt for a demo.
Thank you, Pavel. So I'm just going to go ahead and get the screen sharing set up here. It'll be just 10 seconds. Perfect. There we go. So my screen has now loaded. I hope that all the attendees can see this, and to be honest with you, here we go. Welcome to the Cartica Command Layer, a web-based system where our clients can manage 100% of their cloud resources. We build our resources and our cloud system a little bit differently than most of our competitors. Most of our competitors, they sell you a virtual server package. It comes with a specific amount of disk space, RAM, CPU, and other compute resources. But what happens when you're over purchasing your resources? Well, you've now just wasted your money, you've wasted resources. Let's go ahead and look at a quick example, and we discussed this in our previous webinar. Most traditional IT businesses these days purchase a huge physical infrastructure, so physical servers that sit in a server closet. What happens with those servers is that you're only using a certain percentage of the server. Most clients don't use 100% of the resources, and that server is slowly decreasing in value over time. With the Cartica Cloud, what we allow you to do is to purchase just the resources you need to run your application or your software. We allow you to purchase independently memory, which is RAM, storage, CPU cores, IP addresses. Those are the four main resources that a client needs to stick an application into the cloud. By selling our services in a resource usage-based model, you don't have to go ahead and over-provision. You have everything available here. You need more, you click on this blue upgrade downgrade button, and you can immediately and instantaneously add additional resources to your server with the click of a button. So let's backtrack a little bit here and show you how to create a server in the cloud. Old model, physical model, you go out to Best Buy or your server store and you purchase a big gigantic server. You plug it in, you stick in those Ethernet cables, you install your software. We make this extremely simple. By clicking on the Add New Server, which is a button right here, which is aptly named, you're brought to a wizard where you can type in information on the server. So the host name would be the first option. We're going to call this server test.mat.com. You can then choose your operating system. You can see here that we offer common distributions of Linux and Windows operating systems from 2008 to 2012. Linux with pre-created templates such as Cloud Linux or Interworks, for example, Plesk, cPanel. Those are all hosting control panels. You choose what you want. You type in the information, so we'll give it a password, and we customize the amount of resources to give this server. Once you're happy, you hit the Create button. Everything is now creating in the back end. You don't have to worry about the physical hardware because our system is doing that for you. You can see here that the server that we just created has been now assigned a public IP address, and it's listed as pending while it creates in the background. Linux servers on our platform will be online in usually less than 60 seconds. A Windows server around 30 to 45 minutes because the Windows operating system does need to install. So we're going to go ahead and wait for the server to come online, which it should be any minute now. So we're going to go ahead and click on the host name, and it brings us into the management panel. And you'll see here that the server is performing a task. So it's just finishing its boot. While it's doing that, I'll show you a couple different aspects of the control panel. So we'll go into our Windows server here. So clicking on the host name of the server brings you to the management page. This is a one-stop shop to manage the entire server. You can access the rescue console, which I'll show you in a second. You can reboot the server. You can rebuild it from a new operating system template. You can power it off, recover it, boot a ISO or mount an ISO. You can view logs. You can delete, and you can access some of our ancillary services, which I'll touch on in just a second. But what I want to show you here, the most important thing, and this is where cloud gets its name, is the Scale button. By clicking on the Scale button, you're able to customize the amount of resources that this server has, RAM, CPU, all the way down to disk. So let's say that you are hosting your Sage application in the cloud, and you know that once every 3 months you have a gigantic workload because your accounting guys and they're running some sort of a process, and you know you need more resources, but you only need it 1 day out of every 3 months. By coming into the control panel and adding those resources to your server, just for that 1 day, you're only paying for those resources for that single 24-hour period. So it's a huge, huge cost saving for you. So our Linux server is now booted here as well. I'm going to go ahead and just show a couple different features that we offer here. You'll notice some tabs in the top right-hand corner: Overview, Network, Storage, Usage. So under the Networking tab, this is where you can customize 100% of your network. You can add IP addresses. You can add additional interfaces, such as assigning the server to our private networks. You can communicate backups and all of your internal traffic through the private network without it actually hitting the public internet, so that saves you money on your bandwidth billing as well. And of course the firewall, which allows you to manage the server's firewall in an easy-to-use web-based system. The Storage tab allows you to view your current disks that are assigned to the storage. By hitting the Edit button, you can increase the disk size. And of course, you can also take a snapshot, which is essentially a Polaroid picture of the server's disk, which can be then restored at a later time. The Usage tab here gives you some statistics on your CPU usage, your disk, and your network usage. But this usage graph really isn't that great. I'm going to be the first one to admit it. So Cartika partnered with a company called New Relic. And what New Relic allows Cartika to offer is in-depth software and server analytics. We offer this free of charge for any Cartika managed server clients. By clicking on this New Relic link, we're going to go ahead and do that now. We're going to see first up a graph of our CPU usage. So here we go. This is our CPU usage graph. As you can see, this server was humming along at around 1% usage, and then I decided about 45 minutes ago that I wanted to go ahead and install Windows updates. So you can see that when I started the Windows update process, that of course it's a Windows server, So it takes quite a bit of resources to update. You can see this spike pulled every 5 minutes in real time right here. By clicking on the memory use tab as well, you view the exact same graph, but for your memory usage. You can also see that huge spike. Disk usage, that's physical storage that's used. So we would assume that during an update process that usage is increasing, which is exactly what we're seeing here. Disk I/O is also available for us to view. Under the application tab, we can view some specific tasks such as the error rates of our application. So let's just put that into non-technical terms for a second. Let's say that you're running a SQL database on the server, and that SQL database is throwing out errors. The New Relic system will catch those errors. It will tell you on this page at what time of day you're running the most errors. If you're running a web application as well, we also show you web application response times. Now, what good is all this information if you're not being told when you have to come and look at it? So we built in a notification tab where you can customize, and there's Pavel's email address. You can all write it down and send him sales inquiries. We built in the ability for you to set notifications of alerts. So you'll be alerted when your resources are over 80% and again over 90%. You can have an instantaneous notification. So you'll get an email as soon as you hit that threshold, and you can also, or you can have it as a daily digest email of everything that's happening. So that's our monitoring and New Relic system. So to kind of summarize what we've done so far, I've showed you how you can manage the server in the cloud, you can reboot it, you can scale it, you can easily create it, and how you can monitor it. The real question now is, how do you access it? A Windows server can be accessed very easily directly through remote desktop by simply connecting to the IP address and password. We also, for those of you that don't want to use a remote desktop, offer our Rescue console, which I'm going to open up right here. This is an HTML5 console that allows you to access the server environment directly through your web browser. That's great if you have quick things that you have to modify on the fly. It's also great for troubleshooting because we all know that a Rescue console can be used if the server ever does have a performance issue and you can't get in via remote desktop. The Rescue console emulates the exact same thing as if you were to plug a physical monitor into the back of your server. So looking back at our Cartika control panel here, we have our two servers. They're ready to go. They're online. The last thing that I want to show you here is how to get rid of a server. It's really easy. You hit the X button, you click OK. Because one thing that we covered in our previous demo, we have no contracts, no commitments. If you use the resources when you need them, when you don't need them, you can easily discontinue them so you're not paying for those bills. So I realize I've thrown a lot of technical knowledge at everyone really, really quickly here, and I took about the 15 minutes that I wanted to take on doing so. So I'm going to open up the floor to any questions that may come my way. Okay, doesn't look like we have any questions yet, but we're going to share our contact information here as well, both Stefan and Computrack and Pavel at Cartika. So unless, Stefan, I'm going to pass this back over to you.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Matt. That was great.
Oh, perfect. Yes, the special offer here. We can recap this for all of the attendees that missed the first session here, if that's okay with you, Stefan?
Sure, go for it.
Perfect. So in our last webinar, which is when we discussed the benefits of cloud and the trends of moving to cloud, we offered a special offer. This offer is for all attendees. We're offering a 30-day free trial, a fully loaded Windows Cloud server. We're going to throw in our 24/7 phone, email, live chat support, and we're going to give you a dedicated onboarding specialist, 100% free, no contract, 30 days. Computrack is also going to go ahead and provide some Sage 300 sample data. They'll load up the test databases so you can play with it and see how it all performs under the cloud infrastructure. This offer is currently available for all attendees. Please get in contact with us once you've reviewed this, and we'd be happy to get you set up.
Very good. Well, thank you, Matt and Pavel, for joining us today and for the demo of the Cartika Management Studio. As Matt mentioned, here is our contact information. You can contact Pavel or myself, Stefan, if you have any questions or are interested in learning more about the Cartica cloud hosting environment. Again, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself now or type them in the chat. We'd be happy to answer them. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to have any questions today. So with that, I think we'll wrap everything up. Just again to reiterate, Mark and I are very excited for the cloud hosting environment that Cartica is providing, and we hope that you guys are too. Thanks again, Matt and Pavel, for joining us, and everybody have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye, you too.